In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to have emotional mastery. I'm going to share ways that you can feel any emotion that you want right now so that you can start to create what you want in a very powerful way. Welcome back to another video. My name's Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you powerful ways to embody the emotions that you want right now in the present moment. So why is this so important? Well, understand first off that when it comes to vibrational resonance, which I know to some people is kind of a weird word, but vibrational resonance really has to do with understanding that what physics shows us is that everything is vibration. Everything is just vibrating at different frequencies. So in our life, we experience a reflection of who we are being, and we experience a direct reflection of our resonant vibration. Now, part of our vibration has to do with the emotions that we are feeling. And one of the purposes of life is to go through and have an emotional type experience. Like, we're meant to embody our emotions, we're meant to learn as much as we can about emotions, and that's part of the purposes of life. So let's first off start with emotion and vibration are very interlinked. And when we start to see emotion more as vibration, it gets much easier for us to see what kind of emotions we must feel in order to vibrate at the reality that we want. Now, what do I mean by at the reality that we want? Well, what we must do is imagine the best version of us and how we would be acting in the ideal reality. So me, for example, I have a certain body language in my ideal reality. And I have a certain way I present myself. I am traveling the world in my visualization. I am speaking in front of large groups of people. I am doing and traveling and meeting with different types of people, networking. I'm going to great restaurants. I'm doing all of these things. And with that success that I see within myself, I carry myself in a certain way. And there is also certain emotions that I am feeling. Emotions like feeling just grateful for where I am, feeling like I'm on my purpose, so I feel very passionate about what I'm talking about, what I'm speaking about. I can see it in my gestures, I can see it in the way that I interact with other people. I feel very connected, I feel very excited. Those are different emotions that add up to the vibration of that version of me. So what we can begin to do is first off see what emotions we are consistently feeling, and then what emotions we are feeling in the ideal reality that we have. And we may see that there's a little bit of a variance. We may see, right now, I'm feeling emotions such as jealousy, or I'm feeling emotions such as just like I'm not good enough, or I'm not already there, so I'm feeling this emotion of lack, or this emotion like I really desire it because I don't already have it. And then we look at the reality that we prefer to be in, the one of the best version of ourselves, and we're like, well, no, that version of us doesn't lack anything. That version of us is just already happened, doesn't get jealous because that version of us is already doing very well. So you see, this is where we start to develop emotional mastery over being able to see where we are to where we want to be. So that's the first part of the process, is becoming aware of that gap of where you are to where you want to be, and paying attention to then how we can start to wire in new emotions, new vibrations, and to let go of older vibrations or vibrations that no longer serve the identity of the person that we prefer to be. Now, an important foundation of this process is first off understanding our emotions in general. Now, here's the cool thing. Our beliefs create our reality, and we do not have an emotion without first giving a meaning to different things that happen into our life. So let me give you an example of this. This is the most common one, the easy one to understand. If there is a rainy day, the idea of a rainy day is absolutely neutral. There's no built-in meaning. There's no one that says rainy day has to mean this. It has to mean that the day's going to be great, or it has to mean that the day's not going to be great. It's absolutely neutral. But the meaning that we give it is what determines the effect we get out of it. Now, first off, we may just have a neutral meaning. We're like, I don't care if it is rainy or not. That makes no difference to me. Then it's still a neutral meaning. Sometimes people might be like, oh, it's raining. That is awesome because I live in Vegas and I love it when it rains. It doesn't rain very often. So then we give it positive meaning. We feel good because we can kind of, in a way, put up our blinds, look outside, and feel good with it. And if we give it a negative meaning, we're like, oh, there's going to be traffic, there's going to be this, all those negative connotations, then we feel negative emotion. Well, that little analogy right there is actually with almost everything in our life. So sometimes we may be in a certain situation. Let's say you're in a relationship and you break up with someone, or someone breaks up with you, and you feel negative emotion. Now, from a certain point, am I saying that that is a neutral idea and that am I lying to myself or my emotions, or I'm like kidding myself and it has no built-in meaning? Well, yes, that is actually what is happening. It's just about becoming aware of it. So, for example, from a certain perspective, say you lost a job. You lost a job, you got fired. Okay, that's a negative situation to about 80 to 90% of the people in the world. However, from a certain perspective, you could be happy because you could say, you know what? This is one job out of thousands of jobs I could have. I'm going to start finding out what I'm more passionate about. You know what? I've been wanting to do my own passion. This is going to give me the pressure, the fire for me to start doing that full time. You see, we can start to see things in new points of view. Maybe you're like, oh, in that relationship, this is a negative thing. I feel sad. Well, sad is coming from the focus of the perspective. And maybe that person that you were in a relationship with represented to you some type of positive emotion. You attributed your happiness with them. But at the fundamental level, you have the ability to feel the emotions that you want in the present moment right now. It's simply a matter of your choice as to what focuses and perspectives you have that determine the kind of emotion that you feel and the vibrational resonance that you have. So I know this sounds like a pretty new idea, the idea that we can really choose our emotions and choose the meanings that we give things in life, but that's when we start to take our power back, because we see that nothing has a built-in meaning. So we could start to ask ourselves a new question. If we were maybe just getting out of a breakup and we're saying to ourselves, okay, I feel very sad. Well, what would I have to believe is true to be having this kind of experience? Well, maybe it's like, okay, from a certain level, I could feel grateful that I had a relationship with somebody. Maybe it didn't work out, but here's a good thing. There's 7 billion other people in the world, and if I can have that level of resonance with one person that it didn't work out with, imagine the level of resonance I'd have with somebody that really actually resonates at a deeper level. You see, it kind of switches the perspective, but we can see then, maybe if we're still feeling negative emotion about the situation of the breakup, we can see that we're still giving it some type of meaning. We're identifying with that person. We're giving our happiness to them and saying, you were my happiness. That's a dependent relationship, and what we can do is start to be grateful for it, because then we can start to take our power back. We can say, I am whole and complete. We can start to see things from a new point of view. We can expand our awareness in so many different ways. So that's something that I think is just so powerful when we start to tap into it, is realizing first off that any emotion that we feel is specifically because we have a belief or a meaning that we're giving something in our life, and then therefore that is the effect that we get out of it. So it's very powerful when we start to reframe the different kind of things in our life in a powerful way, because we will literally start to feel better emotions. I remember there were times I used to have a sales commission job. There were times I was helping customers that were walking. It's called walking when they don't buy anything and they're kind of wasting your time. But what I would do is I realized that anytime that would happen, it would cause negative momentum, because the next customers I would help, I would bring that negative energy into that like situation, and it would continue to create more and more resistance. It'd get worse and worse normally. So what I did is I switched it around. I was like, you know what? This two people came in. They didn't buy anything. They kind of wasted my time. But I was able to get myself into the state of like helping people. I see it more from a neutral point of view. I realize that's a neutral idea, and I chose to give it a positive meaning, because I'm like, okay, the next people that I help, it's going to be even better. And then guess what happened? Every person would get better and better. I start to sell more and more. That was something that I found very powerful, because I started to change the meaning. Therefore, my state of being increased. I started to feel better, and then I started to actually help people that wanted to buy, because I was resonating with people that wanted to buy rather than resonating with people that just wanted to walk me, or that just wanted to just try on some nice $1,000 pair of shoes, because I used to work at a sales commission job selling like $1,200 pair of Louboutins. So it's a different perspective, but give it new meaning and you will start to feel an elevated emotion. And in that elevated emotion, you'll start to attract more amazing things. You get out of a relationship, you break up with someone, someone breaks up with you. You give it a positive meaning because you know you're going to find someone even better. You start to increase your state of being. Then you resonate with someone that could actually resonate with you at a deeper level. You start to become more attractive because you start to literally feel better. And as you feel better, as you're smiling more, as you're having more fun, you are more attractive. They've shown that. They've shown that with scientific studies, that when you smile, there are more people. You're actually releasing more serotonin, first of all, so you're feeling better, but people actually perceive you as more attractive at the same time. So those are all some things that will help with this process. Now, a couple other things I want to share with you with this is understand that whatever you focus on, you feel. Focus equals feeling. When you become aware of what you're focusing on, that's when you could start to take your power back in a very powerful way. You could take your power back in a very powerful way. Okay, yeah, and that's what you could start to do, is start to take your power back by realizing this is a game changer. You can feel any emotion that you want in the present moment right now. You do not need something else to symbolize something to you for you to feel those emotions. Normally, we externalize our power. We say, when I get into that perfect relationship, I will feel whole and complete. When I am making X amount of money per month or per year, I will feel abundant and great about myself. But the thing is we are externalizing our power, and we are not giving ourselves permission to just feel that positivity, feel that level of satisfaction right now in the present moment. When if we were to go straight to the source and simply decide to feel the emotions right now at the present moment, we would actually start to see more and more resonance in our life of that reflection of who we are being. So normally we are here, achieving our goals is here with the satisfaction, and we take a lot of action and we do all of these things, and then we give ourselves permission to feel that emotion. But there's a lot of resistance that comes along the way. Instead, we are here. These emotions are right over here. We can feel right now in the present moment. It's about that awareness of you knowing that you can feel any emotion that you want right now. If I were to tell myself, when I make $500,000 a year, I can be happy then. And what I do is I kind of work myself really, really hard. I create a lot of resistance. And when I finally get there, I give myself permission to feel that satisfaction. But what does that money mean to me? What does that money bring me? It brings me a meaning that I am giving it. I'm giving the money the meaning of saying money equals freedom. Money equals the ability for me to travel and do what I love. Money equals the resources to help more people to build even a bigger business. So you see, as I start to change the way I view the process, as I start to change those things, I start to relate to it in a completely new way, and then I'm able to embody more of the emotions I want. So it comes with that awareness. So what I want to encourage you to do, here's the practical side of this video, the exercise that you can begin to do, is begin to visualize and imagine the best version of you and how you are acting in that ideal reality. So maybe it's you owning your own art gallery. Maybe it's you traveling the world and speaking, that's mine. Maybe it's you owning your own business, owning a restaurant. Maybe it's you making videos on health and nutrition, or growing on social media, whatever it is. Imagine that version of you that is already where you want to be. Imagine the emotions that you would be feeling. Break it down into emotions, not the things you would have, but the actual emotions you'd be feeling. And you could say, okay, I'm going to be feeling connected to other people. I'm going to feel passionate. I'm going to feel like I'm on top of the world. I'm going to feel like everything in life is just synchronistically happening. So I'm going to feel very grateful. All of those emotions that I feel in that ideal reality, I choose to feel now in the present moment through focus. Whatever you focus on, you feel. Focus on where those things in your life are already in your life. So for example, if you're like, oh, I'm going to focus on the freedom I'm going to have from all that money and the abundance that I want, you would say, well, where do I already have abundance and freedom? Well, I already have freedom because I can drive wherever I want to go. I already have freedom because I can go in the kitchen right now and make my food and eat what I want. I already have the freedom right now because I can call up friends and hang out. I can do what I want. So that's the level of freedom that I'm talking about. So that's something that you can feel through your focus. Whatever you focus on, you feel. And when you start to become aware of what you have to believe is true, so ask yourself that question: what would I have to believe is true to be having this kind of experience? And as you see what that emotion is, as you see what that belief is, you can then choose to let go of the old belief, because the moment you become aware of it is the moment you bring the subconscious into the conscious, and you can decide to then let it go. And as you let it go, you start to take your power back, and from there you can start to then give things positive meaning in life. Think of positive as an integrative, not positive as good and negative as bad. Positive as integrated, negative as separating or segregative. And start to connect to the events in your life. Start to give things positive meaning, integrate it, and you'll start to transform it in a much more powerful way. So another part of this whole process is understanding vibration and your vibrational frequency. When you raise your vibration, whatever you focus on will happen much faster. That's why I've created a free guided meditation that will show you exactly how to raise your vibrational set point. When you're at maybe a 3 or 4 out of 10, you can start to feel at a 7 or 8 out of 10. It'll raise you up the vibrational scale. So that's something I've created for absolutely free. I think it can totally change your life if you listen to it for at least 21 days straight. It's going to be in the top of the description box below. You can download it for free. And other than that, I'm also going to be on Instagram more, be doing more live Q&As. I'm going to like to interact with you. I want to be able to, if you have questions, you can ask me questions and we can have more of a dialogue there. So if you want to follow me there, I'll go ahead and put it right over here for you to follow me on Instagram as well. And other than that, as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video, if you like to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that little notification here so that you can see the daily vids that I do. It's the way YouTube does things now, is you actually have to hit that button to see the daily vids. And other than that, as always, peace, much love, and